intro-free version of today's Do It Now show. We're talking about tiny changes for big results. And with me is the man, the legend, the guy who knows 80/20 like it's the back of his hand or the bottom of his soul, the foot that is, Dr. Kayvon K.
Hello, hello. How are you doing, Dr. V?
I'm doing all right. I am
Yes,
here rewriting things and doing things and still unpacking, as you can tell by the mess
yes.
behind
I
me.
see some baby wipes behind you.
Oh no, that's actually my recycle bag. But yes,
Yes.
I use this. I throw all my stuffed paper for the recycling in here, and for
Yes.
some reason, this baby cheers me up.
Yeah, there.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, that's it. That's a happy baby.
that's right.
Um,
Exactly.
so
So how do we make happy business people?
happy business people. So how come we didn't have an intro? Because is it because of the changes or what's happening? Give an update to people about
Because
what's
I
happening.
hit the play button, the live go live button before hitting the video, and there's a little pop up that doesn't let you escape until this thing goes live.
Ah,
These are the quirks of this particular streaming app.
yes. I know what you mean. I know
It's
what you mean.
quirky. So no matter what the quirk, you got to get it to work.
You can rhyme anything. I
Pretty
love that.
much. Pretty much. There's just like a little, jingle brain here. Is it jingle bells? This is jingle brain.
Jingle brain.
Jingle brain.
I like that too. Yes,
All right.
you are a player.
I'm just
So
making these up as we go along.
yeah, I'm ready. Let's get on it. And
All
we
right.
were
So
just
you have
talking
you
about
have a screen thing that you want to share.
yes. Let me
And
share
we're
my
talking this, by the way, just to give this some context. We did this 2 weeks ago. And
screen.
when I pressed the button, nothing streamed anywhere and nothing was recorded. But at least we're getting the recording today.
Finger
Guaranteed.
crossed.
What's that?
Fingers crossed.
Fingers, eyes crossed.
Uh,
So
yes. Okay, let me share my screen.
share your screen.
Yes.
Dr. Kayvon K. Profit Coin. It says Dr. Kayvon K. Profit Coach joined. So there you are.
Yes. So there you go. So we were just talking about shortcut keys. So
Yeah,
we were
shortcut
we were
keys.
talking about like doing things faster, easier, and all of that. So this is, let's say, let me just get rid of all of this text here. So let's say you open a blank email, right?
Hmm.
So like this. Many
Dear
times,
John, dear John, why are you not here?
dear John, why are you not here? So let me give you an example. Like for example, many times I am sending messages to people with instructions of, like, few minutes ago I sent some instructions to a web designer for some changes on a web page that I'm helping with a client. And
Right.
I usually, when I send emails like that, I like to end it with please let me know if you have any questions. So that's a sentence that I have to keep writing and writing. So
Right.
I use this text expander extension on my Chrome. So all I have
Mhm.
to do is type PPP and see the whole sentence shows up.
Is it PPP?
Well, that's the one that I put it in because I
Oh,
start with P. So this is, I remember, if instead of typing please let me know if you have any question, the three letter code is PPP.
not
Or many times I have to send people my calendar link, right?
right.
So again, instead of remembering it, because my domain name is talktokayvon.com, I go TTT. There you go. The whole
So
thing
you have
shows
to
up.
use 3 letters to create this short code?
No, no, actually, there are
Oh,
other ways of doing it too. So let me actually show you. This is the extension that I use. It's called Magical.
Magic Cal, CAL, or
Yeah, Magical. Yeah, Magical. Yeah, I don't know. How do
magic?
you say
No,
it?
magical is still magical. Yeah.
Magical, right? So, like, these are my TTT or PPP.
Hmm.
Um, I have other ones, or the format could be like slash something,
Right.
right? Um, Let me see. Let me give you. And as you can see, it could be like a
Right.
whole paragraph
Right.
of something. Or look at. I have a long one. Look at that one.
Like,
Right.
Please pay now, or you will be cut off from my coaching.
Yes. So see, um, it could be whatever combination of the things that
Right.
you want to use. I
Got
can
it.
have links in it. I can have what is it? Bold stuff.
What if you forget these?
Well, well, then you go ahead and type everything,
Okay.
right? So look at this one, QQA. If I type here, so delete QQA. So see, with formatting and everything, it shows up. This is a message that I kept sending people when I was working with Ari, but still in there. So you can have all sorts of things. Look, this one is I have for my hashtags HHH. There we go.
So HHH to me was Hubert Horatio Humphrey, who ran for president in
Yeah.
1968. So that's why it wouldn't work for me because I sometimes do type HHH. But you have to
Well,
create
yeah,
your
you
own
want to
codes.
type
I mean,
something that you don't want to use, you usually don't
right,
use, right?
right.
Yes.
So I get the thing with the forward slash or something else, and that would because
Yeah.
sometimes I write things like CC for like carbon copy, which people still
Yes.
use, and I had created a short code, I think, on my phone, and
Uh-huh.
it was for the I think it was creativity and consciousness. It was a whole thing. The problem is then when I typed CC, I had to go back and keep erasing it until and it
Yes.
became annoying, my code. So
Yes. I have the same thing for my phone number. So I just go like this and my whole phone number
mhm.
is there. Let me
There you
see.
go.
Let me give you another example.
Okay.
So yeah, so things like that doesn't matter how long or short. I think that's always a good shortcut. And you were talking about the part of the work that you're repeating. If you're working in a
Right.
browser, I find those very helpful. Like for
Right.
example, when I am meeting with someone, I like to send them a message. Hey, I'm excited about our meeting. Looking forward to it. So
Mhm.
here's my shortcut for that.
It's very short.
Uh, no, it's not coming up.
Oh.
Anyway,
Sometimes there it is.
you got the point. Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah. So this would be a little thing that is a 20% item that you would want to focus on to save 80% of your time.
Well, it saves a lot more if you the
Yeah,
text is longer and you're always using them and that sort of thing.
true,
Like think
true.
about it. Every time there is a social media post and you already have your hashtags in there,
Hmm.
so all you have to do is HHH and you keep it up to date
Well, but
and
we do change. So, doing a lot of social media posting and Instagram reels and other things, we do change up codes. So, I would
yes,
think creating a series of hashtags
yes.
would probably be what I would do, and I'd probably have like 20 or 25 of those. So,
Well, here's the thing. Then you all you need is I don't know a little piece of paper on beside
yeah,
your desk that you
yeah.
know which one is which. So mine was HHH, so you can have HH1, HH2, HH whatever, you know, and just
HHK for hashtag having Kayvon. So
yes. So that sort of thing.
got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's very
And
helpful.
going back to our presentation about
Yes.
today's
Meanwhile,
thing. Meanwhile, so we want to talk about small changes that create big profits.
you
So let's
betcha.
get
So we
to
we had failure last time 2 weeks ago, and so that we Dr. Kayvon K was great at reframing it. Even though I was upset, I was pretty pissed off, and he said, "Well, think of it as a very good dress rehearsal." So
yes. So this no pressure for today to be an awesome presentation because we had a dress rehearsal, but let's get on it.
dress
So
rehearsal. I was wearing a different hat though, so I don't know if that's going to make a difference.
and I forgot to wear a hat.
Oh, see, there you go. All right, here we
Congruent,
are.
right? Yeah. So profitability is important. And many times there are so many aspects of it that they could be elusive or complicating. So, I'm a simplifier, simplifying profitability for everyday entrepreneur. I
Mhm.
thought that would be a good line to describe what I do.
You're such a
So
simple soul.
simple. So yes, bada bim, bada boom. No, it
Okay.
doesn't have to be complicated.
Okay.
Yes. Cool. So the concept is small hinges swing big doors, and that's the highest quality picture of a hinge that I could find, and I love it that because it's gold. And I always said that, and I had no idea that's actually from W. Clement Stone. So
Mhm.
that made it even better. So it means sometimes big things happen as a result of small events or small
True.
improvements.
True. Like even those
So
giant doors in Europe at the cathedrals, they swing
yeah,
open based on those hinges.
yes. So can you think of something that can be very helpful in personal or professional business life that a small change make a big difference?
Um, a tiny water filter can produce many, many gallons of clean water.
Oh, perfect. That's a perfect example. I love that. Yes. Cool. So it is that same old 80-20 rule, that the 20% of our effort create 80% of our results on average. But you also have another set of numbers that you like
Yeah,
to.
I like the 95-5 rule. Some people used to say 90-10. I think it's 95-5. The reason for that is totally personal, which is I used to live on the East Coast of the US and I would go up
Yeah,
and down Interstate 95. Now
yeah.
I live on the West Coast and I go up and down Interstate 5. But more than that, it's because I like to look at the 20% of the 20% that you
Yes,
talk about.
exactly.
Yeah,
So this 20% has its own 20%,
there you
which
go.
creates a good 80% of this result, which is still a majority of the results. So I love that way of thinking, which kind of leads to what my main point of this conversation today is.
Yeah.
We know the same thing applies to sales or revenue, the 80-20. So um, there are multiple ways to basically put the 80-20 rule on turbocharge, or what is known also as compound effect. So one way is what you
Right.
just said, as in you find the 20% that makes the 80% of the results. Don't worry about the 80%. Go into that 20% and find the 20% for that 20%. And still, with least amount of work, you create a lot of results. I guess that's how we can end up with 4-hour work week, right?
Right, well, you've delegated everything, so all the
Yeah,
80% of the stuff is just off to other people, virtual assistants, executive assistants, even companies who maybe they run your Facebook ads, maybe
yes,
they provide you with the customer call center.
exactly, exactly. Now, here's another way to take advantage of it, which is that compound effect. So imagine this is only one area of the business. Let's call it lead generation,
Mhm.
and we improve it like that. We can do the same thing to lead conversion. We can do the same thing to lead nurture. We can do the same thing to delivery. So when you apply this and you end up doing all of these smaller 20% in multiple areas, now because they are related, the impact of them on the whole business is going to be compounded. It's not just 80% in a small part of it. It's a much bigger compound effect on the whole thing. Make sense?
Yeah, it's a great point because what I've found, so I've done a lot of consulting for dentist offices and chiropractors offices and others, and you can do a lot of lead generation for them. But if
Mhm.
they don't have the conversion system in place at their front desk or who's ever answering the phone,
Yes.
then you can give them all the leads that you want, but it's not going to increase their business.
It goes to waste.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, exactly. So, thinking about that and impacting the profitability, when we put them all together, it becomes a domino effect. And you end up what by small changes make big impact in multiple areas of business. So, 5 ways to increase revenue and profit are basically more leads, more conversions, more transactions, like the dentist office that you mentioned,
Hmm.
increasing the prices and increasing the profits. So these are 5 different areas. Imagine that we make small changes in all of them
Right.
and the compound effect of all of that. So,
Hmm.
so um, um, I have a demonstration, actually, something on my website that I can share with.
Oh, this thing. Yeah, we
Yeah.
looked at it 2 weeks ago. I thought this was brilliant. That
Yes,
was
profit
great.
growth calculator. So
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah,
let's
yeah,
play
yeah.
with that.
Okay.
So this is on my website. I'm going to share the link. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So it's called the profit growth calculator. So remember the leads, conversions, transactions, prices, and profit.
Right.
So let's say the business is only has 1,000 leads per year,
Right.
right? And the conversion is an average of a 25%.
That's pretty good in my
Okay, and
opinion.
they have per client they have like 10 transactions for $100 product.
Oh, okay. I was
Okay,
hoping it was a much higher price product.
well, we can play all of that. This is
Okay.
actually that's why I have it here. It's a
Yeah.
calculator. You can put any numbers you like.
Got it.
Um, our clients, our visitors, viewers can go there and put their own numbers in. This
Gotcha.
is for to give you an idea and the profitability of 5%.
Right.
So what happens if I make a 10% increase in leads
Mhm.
and 10% conversions and transactions? So each one of them only improved by 10%. So
Right.
10% of 1,000 is only 1,100.
Correct.
10 transactions, 10 sales, only increase it by one. So
Right.
11. $100 product, just make it $110 product. These
110.
are
Yep.
small changes. But what happens when we put them together? Look at that. The total profit of this business before the small changes and before the compound effect was $62,500, and they just now jumped to over 100. So that's a jump of almost 40K.
Right. Then you have that 27.5%
Yes.
increase from those because they have compounded. This is I think it's best if people do go to your website and play with it because the screen it's a little small on the screen,
Oh,
but I
there you
just
go.
think that's oh, much better.
How
Thank
about
you.
this? Better? Uh-huh.
Much better. Much
Yes,
better.
there you go.
Now
Well,
I
thank
can
you for sharing that with
read.
me. And here's the
Yeah,
thing, this is minimum. Like making
right.
10%, making 10 sales, 11 sales
Right.
is doable. It's just with a push. But with a better system, better sales script, conversion is going to be higher, all of that.
Higher
So
price, higher price. Let's say you
yes,
have you've raised your rates, you're so famous, you're so wonderful that your price is now $500 or
or
300,
just increase
300,
by 50%. So
50%. Yeah, 150. Oh,
50% increase in all five areas
mhm.
compounded jumps the business from 62K to 474K.
Right. But who really is going to be making positive changes like that in every single one of these items? That's
That's a
my
very
question.
good question,
Yeah.
and the answer is almost no one.
Right. So, but you may have tremendous effect from changing one or two of these things.
Yes, and that's the reason that I have this business, because
Yeah.
guess what? We need to make all of these changes. Business owners are in everyday entrepreneurs and busy with so many different things. So
Right.
they business growth coaches, consultants, people like myself. This is what
Mhm.
we can come to their business, help them, and you know, we can make all of these small changes over 1 year, that's a good chunk of added profitability. Because remember, increasing revenue will feed your ego, but
Yeah.
increasing profitability feeds your family.
Now I like that.
Yes, I like to see myself, Dr. V,
Yeah.
in the feeding families business, saving marriages business.
Well, but that's a great reframing actually, because the effect of entrepreneurial profits creates
Yes.
this ripple effect everywhere into people's personal lives and their enjoyment of life.
Yes, exactly. And we all do our work, we get paid with dollars or whatever. But that kind of an impact when you talk to a client that they
Mhm.
come back and say things like that, that's what I feel that I'm really getting paid. That's the biggest reward in the
Well, and
business.
it's like the satisfaction you would get in terms of being in a healthcare practice. People
Yes,
come back saying, "Oh my gosh, I can finally play with my grandchildren. I no longer am limping around."
yes,
Those types of things. So the quality
yes.
of life issues. And I think anytime you increase the profitability of a business, it's going to improve the quality of life for not just the business owner, but also for all the employees, virtual
All the A's
assistants,
and
et
their
cetera.
families and their environment and
Exactly.
their, you know,
Exactly. Yeah.
like so many people, instead of working so hard, they're gonna have an easier life. They can go and, I don't know, volunteer or help out, or soup kitchen,
Or maybe
or other things.
they may start their own entrepreneurial,
Yeah,
venture.
side hustle stuff,
Yeah,
all of that. So um, this is how I see it. And you're just talking about um, creating the profitability. So the five area calculator is an example to prove the point. And
mhm,
here's the thing. These are the 12 main areas that I like to work with clients
right,
to impact the revenue and profit. So imagine if we could make such big changes with only five area, and
right.
compounding effect, what happens if we apply it to all of the major 12 areas of the business? Make sense?
Yep. So cutting co most people think of somebody who's coming in to improve profitability as being the person who's going to be the hatchet man and cut costs everywhere. Like, get rid of staff, cut
Yeah.
advertising costs, cut their overhead, all that kind of thing.
Well, here's the thing. Before cutting staff or cutting marketing, I
Yeah,
like to. This is well. First of all, I am a big fan of cutting costs.
right.
Ask me why.
Why?
Okay, so here's the thing. Let's say I start working with you on your business,
Right,
and the outcome is additional, I don't know, $20,000,
right.
right?
That'd be nice.
But
Yeah.
that $20,000 can come in one of the two ways, either by cutting costs or increasing revenue.
Correct.
Increasing revenue always has a cost attached to it, because it's the cost of marketing or the time that you spend,
Right.
the cost of ad. So that $20,000, a good, 50%, 60% of it is the cost of creating that, even if it's 25% of it. So a good chunk of it is going to be taken out of cost of creating that extra revenue. And guess what? That extra revenue also means now you have to deliver that service, which is, the cost of delivery of the service. So a good chunk of that $20,000 is gone. Not all of it is profit.
Right.
But guess what? If we cut cost by maybe switching banks, maybe switching credit card providers, maybe changing the debt structure, maybe going as simple as going over your bills and credit card statements and notice you have a bunch of subscriptions that you're not using anymore and
Right.
cutting them off. So if we end up with $20,000 extra in the business because of cutting costs, the whole $20,000 is added to the bottom line. There is nothing taken from it. So more revenue is actually less profitable than cutting costs, because 100% of cutting costs stays in the business and is added to the profitability.
Yep.
Yeah.
It
So
makes
that's
sense.
that's that's why I'm a big fan of it. So going with the 12 areas, I got
It,
this profit acceleration simulator on my website, that is basically those 12 areas, and we were talking about how to um, impact a business by that. So let's say
right.
I'm going to give like some example numbers here. Let's say a business is $1 million a year revenue business, right?
Definitely a small business. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, well, it is,
Yeah.
right? And let's say profit margin of 50% and net profit margin of 20%.
Okay.
Okay, so as you can see, they end up with a current profit of $200,000.
Right.
Make sense?
Yep.
Now we have these 12 areas, and we were talking about 10%, 15%, and all of that. Let's be very conservative and only improve each area by 5%, right?
Okay.
5% is doable. Look at that. That if you compound them together, and this calculation is coming from like almost 500 million of algorithmic data points, so it's averages of different um, industries and all of that. It increases the profitability by 211%, and that's just 5%. So that still seems like a big number. So even if we only improve everything by 3%, so
Right.
cutting costs by 3% is usually not, getting rid of employees. It's more streamlining and having a better provider maybe, or negotiating the rate from a provider and that sort of thing. And that's still another 232,000. So that doubles. That's more than doubles the profitability of a business by only 3% improvement applied in 12 different areas. You see what I'm saying by the power of compound effect? Isn't that, amazing?
Yep.
So look at that. Over here, the current profit before changes was 200,000, and it's now 432. The revenue goes from 1 million to 1.3, almost 1.4 million dollars. So these are the kind of changes that can happen. So going back to our slides, um, the let's review what we just looked at. If it's business is in $1 million in revenue, and they have a current profit of $200,000.
Hmm.
If we add like a meager 5% to all of the different areas, that's the new profit that they end up with, right? That I don't remember what I put in as far as what is it, the percentages of margins. So this is another example, but I think this was like a 40-20 kind of a thing. But again,
Something like that. Yeah.
yes. Now, here's the thing. Lots of people look at this, when I go to networking events and they say, yeah, but my business is not a $1 million business. Well, you're not alone. Did you know that only 4% of all businesses, they eventually get to that, coveted $1 million mark?
Yeah, it's
And
it's pretty small. There's lots of
yeah,
places that they barely crack low six figures.
yes. So let's go with that example. If the business is a $200,000 business in a year, that's their current profit, right? So same idea, meager 5% increase in 12 different areas, they end up with 111,
Mhm.
right? So that's a $71,000 improvement on their bottom line. So I think this is simple. 5%, 3%, 2%, 6% in different
I'd be
areas.
interested sometimes even looking at 1% because my stepson's on the football team and his shirts that they wear to practice, it says increasing 1%.
Yes, exactly. So
1%
let's
better.
let's
It's like this
let's try that.
1%
Even
better.
if we do like 1% across, that's still another $70,000. That
Right.
means like you can hire one and a half or two employees and
Right.
part-time or assistant and that sort of thing. Now here's the thing, cutting costs, let's say 1%. If we work on an offer, we can make that change to a higher number. Let's say that improves the business improvement by um, 10%, right?
Mhm.
Over here, the upsell and cross-sell only 2%. Maybe more leads can help us with a 5% over
Can you go negative with these numbers?
here. Well, that's not the
I'm
idea.
sorry, our leads are down by 5%.
Yeah.
But what
So
will the
see,
impact be if we fix everything else?
even if most areas are only 1 or 2% and only
Right.
few, again, we are looking at a 75% thing. So this is another tool that I have on my website
Right.
that our viewers can look at it. So this is where you want to go ahead and plug in your numbers. Just go to profitfindernow.com, find this area that says plan for profitability. So these are the two calculators. The simulator is this one, and the first one we saw, the profit growth calculator, is this one. So just find these two icons, click on them, you'll see those pages, either on the simple one or the bigger one. Plug in your numbers and see what works for you. And if you have any question or you need help, well, just let us know and we will be more than happy to run through the whole thing with you.
I think that there's an unfair advantage of the profit accelerator stimulator because there's 12 items versus the 5 and the profit growth.
Yes. Yeah, well, this is simple. Here's the thing: 12 areas may be too many areas to work with,
Right.
right? So you start here. What with that additional, start doing with that later. Or this is I usually just use this one to prove a point, to
Right.
communicate the concept. But when I work with my clients, we are working at 12 areas. Usually, it's like a 1 year plan, and over 1 year, you have those 70%, 80%, double improvements in profitability.
So typically, how long does somebody engage with you? What's an engagement for this?
For the 12 areas, I'm thinking 12 months is a good number because each one of them has a bunch of back and forth, calls,
Right.
and you know, I need to know more about their business, and some of it we need to test a few things. So let's say if each one of those improvements takes about a month to be implemented, 12 months is a great um, number to look at. And as we work, every month we get the improvements of the previous months that we have made it. So the you start seeing the impacts of improvements and them compounding from the second month and the third month. Well, actually, from the first month, because first month I always like to work at cutting costs. Thank you. I was going to just
I can see your face.
yes, I was going to because I was just going to ask for that. So
Uh-huh.
because here's the thing, think of a bucket. If there are holes in our bucket, what's the point of trying to get more water, right? So I like to plug the holes first.
Because
So
you enjoy a shower. You just
yeah,
hold it
well,
over your head.
yeah, that's a good way to reframe it. But usually, we use shower heads, not buckets, unless we are in a forest or jungle or somewhere. But here's the thing: the first month is I like to work with cost cutting to plug the holes. This is the um, myth out there that to grow the business, it's all around more revenue, more sales, more transactions. It's about what else can I do? What else can I do? It's about adding stuff, but it's usually there's great power in subtraction. in removing what's not working, in removing
Well,
the blocks.
yeah, in that case, but you're adding more cost savings.
Yes, I'm adding more cost saving. There you go. So I have a three-phase kind of an approach. Before we get to-do list, I like to start with the not to-do list.
Yeah.
Like the stuff that we are doing and it's not working for us. Those are the holes in the bucket. Let's plug the holes first. Then there are some stuff that we are doing, but we can do better, like improving our offer, um, improving our packaging, or that sort of thing. So it's a to do better list. After we exhausted those, yeah, we can go and invest the money that we just saved from those in new marketing and more revenue, more leads, and all of that, because more leads is never free, right? So the money from that. So not to do list, moving to do better list, and eventually to a to do list.
Well, there you go.
So yeah, that's how I look at it.
Yeah, I do like the
So
not
how
to
long did
do.
it take? Have I been talking for a good,
It's
I think
over a
a
half
good
hour.
25 minutes or so.
It's been 30, yeah, 33, 35.
31 minutes.
Okay. Oh, we started a minute late. I'm so sorry.
Yes. Yeah, well, that's fine. So what do you think?
I think it's good. I'm very concerned about whether we have been broadcasting elsewhere.
Maybe we have another test run, right?
Oh, I hope this was not another test.
Yes.
Oh gosh darn it. It may have been. So I'm sure hoping that there's a recording at the very least.
Okay. Well,
'Cause I don't need 2 dress rehearsals or 3 dress
well, I
rehearsals.
hope this got online. When some, do you want me to test it on, let's say, LinkedIn or somewhere? Where should I
Yeah,
go?
probably a good idea. Let's actually
Okay,
let
I'm
me
getting on
end.
YouTube. What am I searching for?
Well,
What's our
no,
channel name?
hang on. Let me just check my LinkedIn because that will,
Right.
or my YouTube will tell me a lot. Oh, this is stuff I should have checked. It looked like it was going well, but it almost looks like nothing went anywhere yet again, which is the joy in quotes of streaming software these days. Well, it looks like it went. We're still live on YouTube, so this is a good thing.
Are we? Excellent.
That's something that actually happened. So and it
I
has your
don't think we
profit
can
calculator in there.
ask for more.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I think
Yes.
Facebook is the real challenge right now. The API is hating most streaming software. And
Hmm.
but we do think that eventually we might be able to get the API to work. It does work in groups because we just did one a little while ago, but
Yeah.
there seems to be a hang up with
What
these.
in YouTube? What am I looking for? What is your account?
Oh, it's there. Oh, and LinkedIn is working.
There you go.
In fact, I will take a screenshot for you to prove that LinkedIn is working.
We need that. We need that. We need proof.
We have proof. So that actually has worked, and
Very good.
YouTube has worked, but Facebook, it's debatable whether it's a success or a failure.
Yeah.
I think that if I were to look at our little group, Strategic Video Masters,
And I
let's see
got a
what we'll get.
newsletter from Lemon today that they were talking
It
about
is working.
big
It is
changes.
working in the groups. Apparently, did it work on the pages? Let me look for maximize your media, which is one of my wife and I have a small agency that's worked for quite a few years, and it's on Max too. Yeah, it's just not on my personal profile, which is really quite curious. So the personal profile says no.
Hmm.
It asks me to set up the video, but the pages and the groups are working. So normally
Well,
I would share from my
I can see
personal
we're live on
profile
LinkedIn on your
elsewhere.
personal profile page.
Yeah. Well, the LinkedIn is on my personal profile. So
Yes. Very good.
small changes in an API can
Yes.
produce big results,
Big results of not going online.
but they may not be the good results that you actually wanted.
Yes.
So anyway, so the good news is we've broadcasted in several places. The
Yes.
bad news is not on the personal profile. So
We can
that's our
always post.
experiment beyond dress rehearsal for today.
Yes. Yes. Well, I hope today was helpful and useful
It
for
was good. It was
visitors.
good. It
Yes.
was, and I think it was something that it was actually shorter than the dress rehearsal from 2 weeks ago.
Well, you get
And
better as if every time you do it. Next time I
Yeah.
can deliver it in 20 minutes.
We are a little more succinct.
Yes.
So, which is great.
Okay.
All right.
Excellent. So thank
That's
you
it for
again
now.
for today. And yeah, anybody has any question or want to give this a try, you know where to find us.
Yeah, you can
Let us
drop the
know.
link down. I can drop the link down below later to 10 different places.
Yes, 10 different places.
What was
And
that? Once
the
again, it
place
was. Let me see if
to
I can put
try
it in
the
the stream.
calculators is profitfindernow.com.
Let me see if I can do that under chat. Well, will you let me? Will you let me? Will you let me? Man, it really. Okay, let's see if I can do it. So what am I writing now? It's
profitfindernow.com. This is the domain name that you wanted me to get the .com one.
Oh yeah. Because it's easier to remember.
Yeah, profitfindernow.
I forgot.
Yeah.
Is it there? I think it's going everywhere now. If not, I'll just drop it in. Oh, there it goes. It's cascading through.
Yes, I can
Maximizer
see it
Media.
now.
It probably goes to YouTube a little later. So, okay. We will be back next week, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, if we can ever find John Paduchak. And
He's missing in action.
he's like MIA. He's my MIA guy. I wonder if he's taken prisoner by the llama farm. So
he just gave help to give birth to a llama, right?
Birth to a llama. But
So
I don't
is
know if
there
he wants to be
a
known as the llama mama.
you know how we have sheep and lamb? Is there a name for baby llama?
He's the oh man, this thing cascaded all the way through. So that link is already populated. I don't have to worry about it. So 20% took care of 80% of the links, and I don't have to spend time doing it. So that's good. All right, we're out of here. Have a great weekend.